Comer, Jordan, Connolly, Jeffries, Correa, Jeffries, Costa, Jeffries, Courtney, Jeffries, Costa, Craig, Jeffries, Jeffries, Crane, Costa, Jordan, Jeffries, Jordan. Oh. Jeffries. Cuellar. Jeffries. Curtis. Jordan. Davids of Kansas. Jeffries. Davidson. Jordan. Davis of Illinois. Jeffries. Davis of North Carolina. Jeffries. Dean of Pennsylvania. Jeffries. DeGette. Jeffries. Dela Cruz. Jordan. DeLauro. Jeffries. Del Bene. Jeffries. DeLuzio. Jeffries. DeSaulnier. Jeffries. Desjardins. Jordan. D'Esposito. Zeldin. Diaz-Balart. Scalise. Dingle. Jeffries. Doggett. Jeffries. Donalds. Jordan. Duarte. Jordan. Duncan. Jordan. Dunn of Florida. Jordan. Edwards. Jordan. LZ. Mike Garcia. Emmer. Jordan. Escobar. Jeffries. Eshu. Jeffries. Espaillat. Jeffries. Estes. Jordan. Evans. Jeffries. Azell. Jordan. Fallon. Jordan. Finstra. Jordan. Ferguson. Scalise. Finstad. Jordan. Fishbach. Jordan. Fitzgerald. Jordan. Fitzpatrick. Jordan. Fleischman. Jordan. Fletcher, Jeffries. Flood, Jordan. Foster, Jeffries. Fushi, Jeffries. Fox, Jordan. Lois Frankel, Jeffries. Scott Franklin, Jordan. Frost, Jeffries. Fry, Jordan. Fulcher, Jordan. Gates, Jordan. Gallagher, Jordan. Gallego, Jeffries. Garamendi, Jeffries. Garbarino, Zeldin. Mike Garcia, Jordan. Robert Garcia, Jeffries. Garcia of Illinois, Jeffries. Garcia of Texas, Jeffries. Jimenez, McCarthy. Golden of Maine, Jeffries. Goldman of New York, Jeffries. Gomez, Jeffries. Tony Gonzalez, Scalise. Vicente Gonzalez, Jeffries. Good of Virginia, Jordan. Gooden of Texas, Jordan. Gosar, Jordan. Gottheimer, Jeffries. Granger, Scalise. Graves of Louisiana, Jordan. Graves of Missouri, Jordan. Green of Tennessee, Jordan. Green of Texas, Jeffries. Green of Georgia, Jordan. Griffith, Jordan. Grijalva, Jeffries. Grothman, Jordan. Guest, Jordan. Guthrie, Jordan. Hageman, Jordan. Harder of California, Jeffries. Harris, Jordan. Harshbarger, Jordan. Hayes, Jeffries. Hearn, Jordan. Higgins of Louisiana, Jordan. Higgins of New York, Jeffries. Hill, Jordan. Himes, Jeffries. Henson, Jordan. Horsford, Jeffries. Houchin, Jordan. Houlihan. Jeffries. Hoyer. Jeffries. Hoyle of Oregon. Jeffries. Hudson. Jordan. Huffman. Jeffries. Huizinga. Jordan. Hunt. Jordan. Isa. Jordan. Ivy. Jeffries. Jackson of Illinois. Jeffries. Jackson of North Carolina. Jeffries. Jackson of Texas. Jordan. Jackson Lee. Jeffries. Jacobs. Jeffries. James. Miller Meeks. Candace Miller of Michigan.
House to come to order. The clerk will continue.
Jayapal. Jeffries. 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 Johnson of Georgia. Jeffries. Johnson of Louisiana. Jordan. Johnson of Ohio. Jordan. Johnson of South Dakota. Jordan. 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 Joyce of Ohio. Jordan. Joyce of Pennsylvania. Jordan. Camlogger Dove. Jeffries. Captor. Jeffries. Kane of New Jersey. Jordan. Keating. Jeffries. Kelly of Illinois. Jeffries. Kelly of Mississippi. Jordan. Kelly of Pennsylvania.
Former Speaker of the House, the Honorable John Boehner.
Boehner. Kana. Kana. Jeffries. Kiggins of Virginia. McCarthy. Kildee. Jeffries. Kiley. Jordan. Kilmer. Jeffries. Kim of California. Jordan. Kim of New Jersey. Jeffries. Krishnamurthy. Jeffries. Custer. Jeffries. Kustoff. Jordan. LaHood. Jordan. LaLota. Zeldin. LaMalfa. Jordan. Lamborn. Lamborn. Jordan. Landsman. Jeffries. Langworthy. Jordan. Larson of Washington. Jeffries. Larson of Connecticut. Jeffries. Latta. Jordan. LaTurner. Jordan. Lawler.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
McCarthy. Lee of California. Jeffries. Lee of Florida. Jordan. Lee of Nevada. Jeffries. Lee of Pennsylvania. Jeffries. Ledger Fernandez. Jeffries. Lesko. Jordan. Letlow. Jordan. Levin. Jeffries. Liu. Jeffries. Lofgren. Jeffries. Loudermilk.
Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Lucas. Jordan. Luke Kameyer. Jordan. Luna. Jordan. Latrell. Jordan. Lynch. Jeffries. Mace. Jordan. Magaziner. Jeffries. Maliotakis. Jordan. Mann. Jordan. Manning. Jeffries. Massey. Jordan. Mast. Jordan. Matsui. Jeffries. Macbeth. Jeffries. McCarthy. Jordan. McCall. Jordan. McLean. Jordan. McClellan. Jeffries. McClintock. Jordan. McCullum. Jeffries. McCormick. Jordan. McGarvey. Jeffries. McGovern. Jeffries. McHenry. Jordan. Meeks. Jeffries. Menendez. Jeffries. Ming. Jeffries. Muser. Jeffries. Jordan. Ming. Mfume. Jeffries. Miller of Illinois. Jordan. Miller of Ohio. Jordan. Miller of West Virginia. Jordan. Miller Meeks. Granger. Mills. Jordan. Molinaro. Jordan. Molinar. Jordan. Mooney. Jordan. Moore of Alabama. Jordan. Moore of Utah. Jordan. Moore of Wisconsin. Jeffries. Moran. Jordan. Morelli.
Mr. Jeffries.
Jeffries. Moskowitz. Jeffries. Moulton. Jeffries. Mervan.
Mr. Jeffries.
Jeffries. Mullen. Jeffries. Murphy. Jordan. Nadler. Jeffries. Napolitano. Jeffries. Neal. Jeffries. Nagoose. Jeffries. Nels. Jordan. Newhouse. Jordan. Nickel. Jeffries. Norcross. Jeffries. Norman. Jordan. Nunn of Iowa. Jordan. Obernolte. Jordan. Ocasio-Cortez. Jeffries. Ogles. Jordan. Omar. Jeffries. Owens. Jordan. Pallone. Jeffries. Palmer. Jordan. Panetta. Jeffries. Pappas. Jeffries. Pasquarel. Jeffries. Payne. Payne. Pelosi. Jeffries. Peltola. Jeffries. Pence. Jordan. Perez. Perez. Jeffries. Perry. Jordan. Peters. Jeffries. Pedersen. Jeffries. Pfluger. Jordan. Phillips. Jeffries. Pingree. Jeffries. Pocan. Jeffries. Porter. Jeffries. Posey. Jordan. Presley. Jeffries. Quigley. Jeffries. Ramirez. Jeffries. Raskin. Jeffries. Reschenthaler. Jordan. Rogers of Washington. Jordan. Rogers of Alabama. Jordan. Rogers of Kentucky, Jordan. Rose, Jordan. Rosendale, Jordan. Ross, Jeffries. Rouser, Jordan. Roy, Jordan. Ruiz, Jeffries. Rupersberger, Jeffries. Rutherford, Scalise. Ryan, Jeffries. Salazar, Jordan. Salinas, Jeffries. Sanchez, Jeffries. Santos,
People of Queens and Long Island, Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Sarbanes, Jeffries. Scalise,
Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Scanlon, Jeffries. Schakowsky, Jeffries. Schiff, Jeffries. Schneider, Jeffries. Skolton, Jeffries. Schreier, Jeffries. Schweikert, Jordan. Austin Scott, Jordan. David Scott, Jeffries. Scott of Virginia, Jeffries. Self, Jordan. Sessions, Jordan. Sewell, Jeffries. Sherman, Jeffries. Sherrill, Jeffries. Simpson, Scalise. Slotkin, Jeffries. Smith of Missouri, Jordan. Smith of Nebraska, Jordan. Smith of New Jersey, Jordan. Smith of Washington, Jeffries. Smucker, Jordan. Sorensen, Jeffries. Soto, Jeffries. Spanberger, Jeffries. Sparts, Sparts. Stansberry, Jeffries. Stanton, Jeffries. Stauber, Westerman. Steele, Jordan. Stefanik, Jordan. Style, Jordan. Stubbe, Jordan. Stevens, Jeffries. Strickland, Jeffries. Strong, Jordan. Swalwell, Jeffries. Sykes, Jeffries. Takano, Jeffries. Tenney. Jordan. Tanadar. Jeffries. Thompson of California. Jeffries. Thompson of Mississippi. Jeffries. Thompson of Pennsylvania. Jordan. Tiffany. Jordan. Timmons. Jordan. Titus. Jeffries. Talib. Talib. Takuda. Jeffries. Tonko. Jeffries. Torres of California. Jeffries. Torres of New York. Jeffries. Trahan. Jeffries. Trone. Trone. Turner. Jordan. Underwood. Jeffries. Valadeo. Jordan. Van Drew.
The Honorable Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Van Dyne. Jordan. Van Orden. Jordan. Vargas. Jeffries. Vasquez. Jeffries. Vesey. Jeffries. Velasquez. Jeffries. Wagner. Jordan. Wahlberg. Jordan. Waltz. Jordan. Wasserman Schultz. Jeffries. Waters. Jeffries. Watson Coleman. Jeffries. Weber of Texas. Jordan. Webster of Florida. Jordan. Winstrup. Jordan. Westerman. Jordan. Wexton. Jeffries. Wild. Jeffries. Williams of Georgia. Jeffries. Williams of New York. Jordan. Williams of Texas. Jordan. Wilson of Florida. Jeffries. Wilson of South Carolina. Jordan. Whitman. Jordan. Womack. Scalise. Yakum. Jordan. Zinke.
Jim Jordan of Ohio.
Jordan. Okay. So you should have 4 missing. Let me get my pen. Hang on. Your first one is going to be Mr. Payne.
The reading clerk will now call the names of the members who did not answer the first call of the roll.
Payne. Jeffries.
Okay, Sparks.
Sparts. Jordan.
Let's see, 199. Okay, to leave next.
Talib. Jeffries.
And then the next we have is Trone.
Trone.
Jeffries.
Jeffries.
With that process done and the numbers there on the screen, now the tallying finishing up and paperwork to be signed, and then it's on to next steps. As far as what next steps specifically, nobody knows at this point, but Representative Jim Jordan with 199 members of Congress supporting him, Republicans, he got 200 yesterday, you'll remember. Hakeem Jeffries with the same 212 from his Democratic coalition, and then 22 voting against Representative Jordan, nobody voting present. And so this is finishing up, and we'll wait and see what next steps are as the paperwork and the final dotting of the I's and crossing of the T's is done.
The House will come to order. The tellers agree in their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 433, of which the Honorable Jim Jordan of the state of Ohio has received 199. The Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received 212. The Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California has received 5. The Honorable Byron Donalds of the state of Florida has received 1. The Honorable Tom Emmer of the state of Minnesota has received 1. Lee Zeldin of the state of New York has received 3. The Honorable Steve Scalise of the state of Louisiana has received 7. The Honorable Mike Garcia of the state of California has received 1. Candace Miller of the state of Michigan has received 1. John Boehner of the state of Ohio has received 1. The Honorable Kay Granger of the state of Texas has received 1. The Honorable Bruce Westerman of the state of Arkansas has received 1. No person having received a majority of the whole number of votes cast by surname, a speaker has not been elected. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the chair declares the House in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
And that's the end result of this second day of voting on a House Speaker. Not going the way for Representative Jim Jordan, and next steps to be determined as the House considers and leadership considers its next moves. You can call in and talk about what you've seen that play out into the morning and into the afternoon. Republicans 202-748-8921. Democrats 202-748-8920. Others 202-748-8922. You can text us at 202-748-8903. You can post on X at C-SPAN, and Facebook is facebook.com/C-SPAN. Punchbowl News' Jake Sherman reporting that House Republicans now waiting upon Representative Jordan to decide his next move. That's per sources involved in the decision-making process. What we'll see play out is anybody's guess. We've been talking with legislators and throughout the course of this morning about this idea of expanding the current powers of the Speaker Pro Tem, Patrick McHenry. A debate going on between Republicans and Democrats over that was the the Democrat from Maryland, Steny Hoyer, on the steps of the Capitol, talking about this idea, what he thinks of it. Here's a portion of that.
Look, that would have to be a Republican initiative, and we'd have to discuss what the terms of that are. But it is important for us to get the Congress working on behalf of the American people. And the way we move forward is in a bipartisan fashion. That's the way we...
The House will come to order. Prayer today will be offered by Chaplain Kibben.
Would you pray with me? Holy God, we offer ourselves to you this day, a sacrifice we entrust to your keeping. And we pray that you would find our gift pleasing in your good and perfect will. And if we are found wanting, if we fall short of your desires for us, show us how to renew our hearts and minds, that they would be transformed and better able to discern what is good and acceptable in your eyes. In this one body of lawmakers, we have many members, a representation not just of the diversity that is our country, but of the variety of gifts each has been given. On this day of choice, give us the vision to see how you have gifted each one and how you call each to exercise their responsibilities according to the grace you have shown them. And remind us that though we are many, we are members of one another. Out of many may one emerge, one common purpose which we each share, to serve this nation wisely, with purpose and compassion, with enthusiasm and discernment, with strength and with prudence, with determination and with humility, always in service to you and devoted to each other in love. Teach us this day how to rejoice in hope, how to be patient in affliction, and how to persevere in prayer. In your hands we place the outcome of this day, and in your name are we bold to pray. Amen.
Amen. The chair has examined the journal of the last day's proceedings and announces to the House approval thereof. Pursuant to Clause 1 of Rule 1, the journal stands approved. The Pledge of Allegiance will be offered by the gentlewoman from Illinois, Ms. Kelly. Step forward.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Louisiana seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 7 of Rule 20, I move a call of the House.
Under Clause 7B of Rule 20, the chair confers recognition for that purpose. Without objection, a call of the House is ordered. Members will record their presence by electronic device.
As we await this quorum call, we're joined by Steve Dennis, congressional reporter for Bloomberg News. Steve Dennis, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. Explain first what the purpose of a quorum call is, why they're doing this at the top of this expected speaker's vote.
Yeah, it's basically sort of a bed check vote to make sure everybody's here and voting, and it'll give us a good sense of whether Jim Jordan will need 217 votes or not. the Democrats are all expected to show up, in which case he would need 217 votes. But there's, sort of a question here of whether all the Republicans are going to show up. There's at least one lawmaker, I think, who is not expected back in town until later today. And so, we're expecting to have this vote, then nominating speeches for Speaker, and then, probably closer to 1 o'clock that we'll see the actual roll call vote on Speaker of the House. And so far, there's a lot of anticipation in the room, but, unless some of these holdouts change their mind, Jordan does not seem to have the votes right now.
And that one Republican lawmaker, I'm assuming you're talking about Gus Bilirakis, expected to not be here. So if that's the case, walk us through the math as we understand it right now for Jim Jordan.
Yeah, so it's 221 to 212 in the House right now. So he can lose 4 Republicans voting for somebody else and still get that 217 majority of the House. He could get a lower number if people just decide to abstain from voting or don't show up. So, it's what we saw in January is a number of Republicans agreed to abstain from voting at the very end, including Matt Gaetz. And then you'd sort of have an awkward situation where you end up like McCarthy did, getting the speakership, but not necessarily having a majority of the House having voted for you. So it's a majority of the people voting that you need. So it doesn't actually have to be 217, could be a little bit less, depending on attendance.
So if Gus Bilirakis isn't there, it would be 220 Republicans expected to 217. That adds up to 432, and the majority of that is 217. That's why we're focused on that number and those 3 possible votes that Jim Jordan could lose. What's your whip count right now? And for you, what's the early tell of whether this is going to go Jim Jordan's way or not?
Yeah, so there have been just many Republicans who have either not said how they're voting or have been very not happy with how the last few weeks have gone, very unhappy that Kevin McCarthy is not their speaker right now. A good example of that is Don Bacon. He told us last night that he intends to vote, or he thinks he's going to vote for McCarthy, not for Jordan today. I haven't talked to him this morning, but sometimes these people change their mind, but he's still very upset that a very small number of Republicans in the House jettisoned a speaker that 96% of Republicans supported, Kevin McCarthy, and are now trying to, sort of in his eyes, bully the majority of Republicans to back Jim Jordan. And Jim Jordan, would be a much more conservative speaker if you look at his voting record than Kevin McCarthy. Probably the most conservative speaker in decades. And there are a lot of more moderate members who have much more moderate voting records, who have other concerns about Jordan. And, it's tough to go on the floor and vote against your party's nominee. Usually, moderates have caved in the past when they've come to votes like this. But, this is potentially a career-defining vote for a lot of these members, many of whom are in districts that Joe Biden won in 2020 and are sort of on the bubble. And if the Democrats certainly are already hoping to use this vote to try to win back the House next year.
You mentioned Don Bacon, noting that they vote in alphabetical order and that Don Bacon's name would be very high there. He joked yesterday that he wished his name was Don Zakin instead of Don Bacon. But walk us through what happens in a hypothetical round 2 or round 3 or round 4. How likely is it for Jim Jordan to gain votes or Republicans to start to walk away from him? What have the members said that you've talked to about round 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, I think, if he loses on the first round, I think it might depend on how badly he loses. Sometimes people see those those first few names say no, say something else. And once it goes past those 3 members that he can lose on this vote without Bilirakis there, and he starts having lost the vote, then it becomes more of a free vote against Jordan because he's not immediately going to become speaker. So we'll see sort of how close he gets to that total that he needs. If it's a handful of votes, you can rest assured he's going to keep on trying and meet with those people and see if there's anything they can do. And there's also been a pressure campaign against them. But, people like Mario Diaz-Balart, who does not plan to vote for Jordan, has basically warned people that a pressure campaign would backfire against him. And so, I think there's going to be some calculations made on when you have the next vote, what else the House does in the meantime. There has been an effort by members in both parties to talk about installing Patrick McHenry, the Speaker Pro Tem, the acting Speaker Pro Tem, and voting to give him full Speaker Pro Tem powers, at least for a period of time, which would allow the House to do legislation. Right now it's paralyzed, hasn't done anything in the last couple of weeks, and we have war breaking out in the Middle East, lots of other things going on in the world, and it's just about the speaker fight for now.
We saw, of course, Kevin McCarthy go 15 rounds to win the speakership back in January. If this goes multiple rounds today, and again, that's a hypothetical, but who gets to decide to go one more round and one more round? Is that Jim Jordan, or is that the acting Speaker Pro Tem, Patrick McHenry?
It's a good question. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they're just, the Republican conference will just give Jordan the football here and say, where do you want to go? And they'll hold multiple rounds. But the thing is, they can start voting against him if they really don't want him. If his vote total starts dropping, and there are members who have told reporters this week that they've committed to vote for Jordan on the first ballot, but not necessarily future ballots, then you've got, potentially a scenario where his candidacy might not survive for too many days. If we're seeing another vote tonight and that number of holdouts isn't getting smaller but getting larger, then the momentum that he had yesterday when he got a bunch of defense hawks in particular in his corner after talking to them and sort of assuaging their concerns about military spending, well, then you'd have the momentum shifting the other way. And keep in mind, Jordan is coming into this pretty weak, given that only 99 of the House Republicans in that initial secret ballot when he was up against Scalise wanted Jordan. Less than half of the House Republicans, less than a quarter of the House. So, he's not coming into this with a groundswell of a majority of House Republicans thrilled that he might be the next speaker. It's more of a grudging support he's getting. And there's also just been a sort of exhaustion over the fact that this House has no speaker and no ability to do business right now. I've talked to many House Republicans who don't really care about the speakership or Jim Jordan that much. They just want the House to be reopened so they can go back and do the business that they wanted in their committees, bills on the floor, appropriations that have been stalled. We've got a November 17th deadline. And certainly Israel as well. I've talked to members in the Republican conference who are very eager to move Israel legislation, very important to some of their districts, and they can't do that right now.
Steve Dennis covers it all for Bloomberg News, longtime congressional reporter. Always appreciate your insight, your observations. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John.
And now let's continue watching this quorum call ahead of an expected speaker's vote this afternoon. We're nearing the end of the quorum call ahead of an expected vote on Speaker of the House today on Capitol Hill. Of the House saying, let's get it done. And Darrell Issa of California, the Republican, saying, I'm all in for Jim Jordan. Let's take it to the floor. Darrell Issa, of course, could be in line to get the Judiciary Committee gavel if Jim Jordan is, in fact, elected Speaker of the House. Democrat Stephen Horsford outside on the steps of the Capitol with the tweet saying Jim Jordan led the effort to overturn the election and deny the vote of Nevada voters. He does not deserve to be Speaker, saying he'll cast his vote for Hakeem Jeffries. And one more from Nicole Malliotakis of New York, the Republican, with a tongue-in-cheek tweet saying, slow news day at the United States Capitol, Jordan for Speaker. Again, it will take Jim Jordan not losing at this point an expected 3 Republican votes. If he loses more than 3 and Democrats stay together, he won't have the votes to take the gavel. You can watch it all live here on C-SPAN, gavel to gavel.
Welcome, friend, reflecting on the profound